We have started using NutriSphere 3 years ago, and I put that out on some corn. And my first experience with NutriSphere was that I saw that all of the corn in the swale ditches remained green, and it did not, we did not lose any nitrogen to denitrification in those areas, and I was really impressed with it. At first, my growers were very hesitant in trying it, just because there has been so many snake oils out there on the market claiming to do the same thing. And we started doing plots for them, side-by-sides. And once they had the opportunity to see it for themselves, it wasn't a hard sell at that point. My experience with AVAIL was 3 years ago. We did side-by-sides treating the phosphorus on small grains, on wheat. And what we saw and experienced was that we had twice as much root mass on the wheat plants that were treated with AVAIL versus the phosphorus that we put out without AVAIL. It gave us about 5 bushel more per acre. And really looking at the plant above ground, you could not see much difference. But when you started digging plants, that's when you really saw that the AVAIL was working. It was not hard to get my growers to try the AVAIL on the phosphorus, because at that time the phosphorus price was going up, and they were willing to try something to make more phosphorus available to the crop. And they were able to cut back slightly on the phosphorus that they were putting out there and getting more use of it. The response with AVAIL has been pretty great. We have been applying AVAIL to all the phosphorus that we're putting on pre-spread for corn. We're going across that acre anyhow with potash, so we're putting half of our phosphorus out dry, and then we're coming back with less gallons of phosphorus in the starter on corn. And they really seem to like that, because they're able to get away with 10 gallon per acre, and in the past they've been putting on 20. So they're able to get more acres done per day and not fill the planter up as much. With AVAIL, what I have learned with seeing it in the field on over 20,000 acres now is that you can achieve better phosphorus utilization. You can also create more root mass on plants. And when it's been my experience, whenever you see more root mass on a plant, you're going to see more yield at the end of the year. They go hand in hand. My main experiences are with NutriSphere, because you can see it. It's linked with nitrogen. It shows up dramatically. From I can remember field after a dry season, and then it turned wet. We had a dry season and then ended up getting 8 to 10 inches of rain at the tail end of the season. The corn had been side dressed with nitrogen, treated with NutriSphere, and was planted back into wheat. And you could still see the side dress markings after the ground was worked and the wheat was planted. The wheat was green right where the side dress trails were, every 30 inches. You could measure them. It was pretty phenomenal. It's been my experience with AVAIL and NutriSphere, once you get a grower to try it, it sells itself from that point on.